all these names were taken, and we just weren't that excited about it.
You know it wasn't taken, though?
Not pizza.
No one wanted to call their drink not pizza.
Yeah, so I think we were together on a Friday. We said, let's take the weekend, come up with a list of names, potential names. We have to each come up with 50 names and come back on Monday. And so we came back that next Monday, and the 50th name on my list of 50 was not pizza. And it was just kind of to some degree, a throwaway name, but there was just something different and unique about it. And yeah, we lashed onto this idea that you only need two things for a good time, pizza and not pizza. And as marketers, we thought there was a ton we could do with pizza, with the imagery of pizza. And if we could just start to get people to, every time they think or hear pizza, to then think of not pizza.
Welcome back to the BrewedAt podcast. I'm your host, Richie Tevlin, and welcome on Luke and Chris.
Flip-flop.
I'm sorry.
Luke and
Chris from Not Pizza.
just met.
I'm sorry. So before we get started, thank you to Zilka, our podcast sponsors. Zilka is a local malt company, just getting into the brewing game, but they offer $5 shipping. So follow the link in our bio or hit up Brad Adelson. And we'll get our contact to him or his contact to you through the bio also. So yeah, thank you for them. But now back to you guys, Not Pizza. So you guys kind of popped on the scene a couple months ago and have made a big splash. So we're excited to get you guys on here. First, I guess RTD brand that we've had on.
Nice.
Sweet.
So very excited. So I guess you guys are from the beverage world, not from the beverage world?
Not really. I mean, we do some marketing.
From a marketing perspective.
Yeah, a little bit of
from marketing perspective. Sure. I think that somebody was involved with Sly Fox's Instagram account.
Yeah, so I was running their Instagram, doing a lot of content creation.
Okay.
I'm a photographer, videographer.
Cool.
Was doing that for I guess around the time right before this became sort of an opportunity for us. It was probably about 2.5 years, when one of the owners of Sly Fox, our now business partner in this, pulled me aside and was like, "Hey, I really like your marketing brain. I want to get into the RTD space. It's booming. Pitch me some ideas." And so I had just met Chris 2 months before that, and I was like, can I bring in my buddy, because him and I have really good collaborative energy.
You guys, for whatever reason, I thought you guys were lifelong friends or something.
That's how it feels.
We hear that a lot. So
yeah, we're best buds now. We in fact this past week we had a phone call in which I was crying, and you had this really Chris was like, "Hey man, just so you know, I'm your best friend. I got you." And I was like,
"That's true. We did
spoke some off on that. It's true. We're real friends." and yeah, we do feel like there was some kind of a
divine intervention.
Yeah, some stellar thing going on, because we met right before this opportunity came, and I said to John, I was like, I got to have Chris involved. We collaborate really well. Chris has a really good sales brain, and as well as a marketing brain, has a massive network in our area, and just does a great job with socials and production and all that stuff. So I was like, he's kind of we were just joking out there how I'm a creative and I started my creative agency, but I'm not so great at the business side of things, and that's where I feel like Chris balances me out. He's also creative, but business, has that business savvy that I kind of lack. Yeah, so it's a good team.
Yeah, but you're sales, but I feel like you're also kind of involved in creative sales also.
Yeah, so prior to meeting Luke, I had started something called Hello 422, which was at the onset of the pandemic, just looking for a way to be involved and help small businesses, and just started a social media page just as a way to showcase, restaurants, bars, boutiques, hair salons, and everyone that was struggling.
I've seen Hello 422, and I'm aware of it, but that's pretty high end. What were you doing before that? I know 422, you were doing stuff marketing before that?
Yeah, so even currently, I'm the regional director for a company that owns a few indoor sport facilities. So I'm the sports space marketing.
Got it.
And still am. That's my real job.
Yeah.
And then when the pandemic hit, we were at kind of a standstill for that. So I just hopped onto this Hello 422 thing.
Cool.
Just to give me something to do, and through that was working with 50 plus bars and restaurants, all the breweries in the area. And I needed someone who could create content. I could network with the businesses and come up with some interesting, cool ideas, but I couldn't get behind the camera and film something for them.
Yeah.
And that's where I used a mutual friend that I knew, and they recommended Luke to me. And I was like, let's grab lunch and just chat. We hit it off right away. And then we planned, I think a week later was the first time we filmed something together. We were just like, let's shoot together and see how it goes. And, we crushed it. It was an awesome video.
What was it? I mean, the content you guys put out is like it's all over, it's high quality, but it's all over the place. It was just kind of like, let's get together and just do something creative.
Chris had this great concept where it was like a guy was late to his anniversary like date, and like his wife called him or texted him, was like, can't wait to see you like in an hour, and is like, oh shit, I gotta go. And then he like runs from spot to spot in Phoenixville and like got flowers, and then got his haircut,
that's cool.
got a shirt at Whites and Corns, and then ended up like landed in the chair right in time as if he never forgot it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I like this. I like the creative. I like the concept behind this, the execution.
But there's strategy behind it. There's some sale behind it that you're selling.
And you got to pull all these different businesses. You have to know the owners to get them comfortable with like, hey, can we come into your shop at 11 and film this thing?
Yeah.
So and Chris orchestrated all that, and that's exactly what he continues to do for Not Pizza. So like from the jump, I was like, I like this. This is like a really good balance to what I do. Like I like to shoot, but to have someone coordinate and pre-production and kind of reach out and cast is really nice.
You guys are like Evan and Cole. It's like I'm getting the same vibe from you guys.
Yeah, we just met Cole.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's funny. Cool. So you guys were starting to work together. I guess was that the only project you guys did before that? This non-pizza, or you guys were?
No, then we started shooting a ton of stuff.
Basically everything after that was like, this clicks, let's keep working.
Yes, and I had a number of those small business clients who all wanted cool content, and after that video dropped, we had a ton of messages, from a lot of my clients and groups that we didn't know as well. So then all of a sudden each of the next few weeks were just filled with, whether it was, just standard photography for someone, or we kept getting hired to produce these more funny, videos, and it really took off, and it got us a lot of attention, and they were so much fun to do. And like looking back, that was only 2 years ago, and we were charging like we were essentially just volunteering our time. But we're like, oh yeah, we got another $200 for this video, or we're charging $450 for this one.
This has $350. Let's go get it. And meanwhile, we weren't that much younger. We were still 36.
But it was
we were just hungry, and we also knew that and this is a bit of the catch-22 of the I guess I'll say industry / location combination of where I'm at with my career too, is we love working with small businesses. We understand that they don't have large budgets.
Yeah.
And that's fine, but we really love that because they're so appreciative. We were just at this brewing company in Royersford called Lost Planet this past week shooting some stuff, and the owner, while we're filming, we had a couple foodie influencers with big followings, and I guess she was super excited for us to be there. She just started crying. She's like an older lady. And
they're making a difference.
Yeah, so we're really, she's like, we've been so excited. And in those moments, I'm like, I feel on purpose right now. You know what I mean? Whereas a $20K budget for a shoot that you're going to dish it and the company's going to be like, sweet, you checked all the boxes, let's go, boom. It's it's cool. 20K helps, but I don't know. There's definitely something that about being involved with these.
Yeah, more connected to them.
Yeah.
You feel part of them.
It's our community like that.
But so you say you come from a creative background. You have I see Luke O'Brien music. You have these videos you're creating. How did you? Are you just in general a creative person? You seem like you know how to do all these different things.
Yeah, for sure. I actually once put out a mixtape called Jack of All, which follows that as
was
Master
it a rap,
of None.
A rap tape or
It was a rap tape, yeah. So I started rapping when I was in college. In high school, always had my Walkman on, listening to Jay-Z and Talib Kweli and Common and Eminem, whoever, Biggie. I loved all these, and I was like, man, this stuff is so cool. These guys are packing so much into one song. You think about a 16-bar verse, you're saying a lot,
Yeah.
It's you could take I love John Mayer, but you could take a song that's a traditional sort of folk song, and you could write a song using 20 words, you know what I mean? But a rap song is it's chock full of words, just so much imagery, and I just kind of fell in love with it. And then I studied poetry in college. I went to school at Loyola University in Maryland, in Baltimore. And then while I was there, I started freestyling at parties, and I was kind of I'm decent at this, And then I started recording, and then just have been involved in so many musical projects ever since. And I love.
Is that how you got into like the video production stuff? Was like
pretty much, yeah, because I would write a song and then I would hit up my friends who were at the same time kind of finding their passion for video. I had a good friend Mikey Van Buren, who's now the big DP out in LA, and another friend Danny Corey, who's now out in LA. The two of them are buddies out there, and they're both like really successful DPs. And they were finding their passion for that at the same time that I was finding music. So they would shoot music videos for me like pro bono, just to be like, hey, this is my passion project. Lucky for me, because then I had like these really beautiful videos to go with these songs that I worked super hard
and you're
on.
learning it the right way. Like these guys are that talented, like from the beginning, like you're learning like this is how I should be doing this.
Yeah. I'm like, what lens are you on? And they're like, well, we want to go wide, so we're on a 15. And I'm like, cool, I'm getting the lingo. And like over time, I just like understood it. And then, once I started building my family, when I was living in Philly and I was teaching music to kids, I worked at like a behavioral and emotional support school. And then I was signed to, do you know Chill Moody?
Yes.
I was signed to Chill's label, Nice Things Music. So
He's got a alcohol brand now too.
I know. It's a tequila. I forget the name of it, but it's a tequila drink. I love Chill. So I was signed to his label. So I was on the Philly music scene. That was a big part of my identity. And I started having children, and that definitely changes a lot of things. We moved out of the city, and I was like, I'm not going to be rehearsing my music with 4 other like grown men on a weeknight. I'm not going to be touring. Like I'm home now. Like it's roots. Time to put out roots. And that's when I was like, okay, well, I know my way around the camera. Like I left education and picked up my camera and started freelancing, and then that led me to the marketing gig, which led me to this. Yeah.
Cool. Very cool. So you guys were starting to work together with Hello 422, and then you started at some point. You started working for Sly Fox, doing their social media.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if I followed Sly Fox at this point, but I heard you guys on the Best Friends, and then like they were saying that like they noticed at some point that like Sly Fox social media like completely changed. Mm-hmm. And there was a time like, probably about the same time that they were doing it, like people realized like if you're craft brewery, like you need to be on Instagram, like you need to be making high quality content. You can't just be like going there and like taking some like fucked up video on your iPhone 7, like it needs to be something
especially with beer, like it has to be well lit. It has to look really appetizing.
Some of the basics,
it's
not
easy to
just
take
like
a picture of beer that's not appetizing. Like it's on a cell phone, it's poorly lit. It's like, oh, this looks.
People don't think.
Depressing.
I think a lot of people like, oh, you're doing something positive because you're posting a picture. But if you do something and it looks like that, that's negative marketing.
Totally. Especially for a lot of brewers probably look at things that people like tag them in stories and they're like, don't post that picture. Because for brewers, they're like, it should have a certain amount of head and the foam should be above the glass. And like, there's a lot of like.
And as a brewer, I'll tell you, I judge people when like marketing people come in and they take some fucked up picture of beer and I'm just like, ew, like this is gross.
Why did you just like do my beer like that?
Yeah. That's cool. So you started doing, I guess, the Sly Fox marketing. They jumped up, and then RTDs kind of became a thing.
Yeah. It was just we were just kind of chugging along, and Chris reached out to me because he noticed that same thing. Like it looks like their thing has changed, and I think you just messaged the Sly Fox page directly, and I was like, oh, that's me, like and that's when we got together. And then one of the owners of Sly Fox was like, hey, I want to do a completely separate thing, start an LLC. He was like, if you guys want to just market it, we could do another retainer thing, or if you want to put up some money, you could be owners of this RTD. And for young guys like Chris and I, we were excited about that because it just feels like something that could be bigger than.
So how did that whole process work? Like you guys were kind of like, you guys put the brand together, and then they were kind of like, did they have a product that was like ready to go, or like were you guys kind of a part of putting together this?
Yeah, so it was ground zero. We just want to make
idea.
an RTD, but what is it going to be? Yeah, well, so it was the branding, the can design, the flavor development, everything was.
Do you guys do the branding also? Like, are you guys graphic designers as well?
No. We didn't execute the look. We had
like an idea
together, a lot of inspo, and like Chris and I know our way around Canva, but like we rely on like.
But you have good taste at least. Like you guys could like get somebody that was like, we want something that looks like this, or we have an idea of something, like give us some options and let's figure this out.
Yeah.
And so really the first step was at least in our mind, when we started working on this, was what are we going to name it? What are we going to call this thing? And, we came up with lists and lists and looked at what everyone else was doing. There's such a beach vibe out there. You have your surf sides and your high noons and your white claws and all these just very beachy. And it makes sense, right? You're at the beach, you're having a good time, you're with friends. Like, that's what you want to capture with a drink. So it makes sense.
But it's beyond that. Like, RTDs and, like, everything has gone. It's not just a beach drink now.
Right. Definitely, yeah. It's not, and even when these drinks first started, you saw everyone. I mean, it's slim can, 100 less calories. Everyone is like mentally trying to get you to think this is a drink for thin people.
Yeah.
But now it's grown so much more that it's this drink for the masses, where you don't need to just focus on, how few calories this has, or like trying to make you think that it's.
They've broken into the industry. The people before you are saying like this is. They kind of probably broke in using that like this is a healthier option to beer. But I don't think that you need that anymore as like a marketing,
We're hoping not. We're banking on that. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think
we kind of hit that like in the product development. We hit that marketing crossroads where we were like, hey guys, a lot of people in the market are doing 100 calories or less, and the flavor development company that we use to make these, which we'll talk a little bit about, was like, if you guys want to go that route and play the 100-calorie card, the only way to achieve that is if you use aspartame.
It's the whole 100-calorie thing is so stupid. It's like the people that are like switching over from this, it's because they're going out and they're drinking like 12 of them a night. Like, it doesn't matter if it's 100 calories or 160. You're drinking 12 of them.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter at all.
Right. That's it. It's we've now gotten to a place where it almost angers me that people like play this card so hard. And for us, we were like, no, like we've already committed to being different with the name, not pizza. And we didn't really finish the story about how.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, it's fine. It's fine. But like, we're committed to being different. Like, let's not do the 100-calorie thing. I don't want 100 calories on this can. We don't have the slim can. That's not our marketing approach. So we said, let's use real sugar, no aspartame, sucralose, stevia, all that stuff, which I think leaves behind.
I'm sorry to interrupt you again. The Happy Dad seltzers, they're the other kind of seltzer that has, or they're seltzer. They're not the same thing, but it's kind of the same thing. Like not having, but they're in like the same cans, usually the normal 12-ounce cans. I don't think that they advertise calories or anything like that. Did you guys kind of look at that branding?
We definitely were aware of Happy Dad. Yeah, I like what they do. I think it's like, again, it's sort of this anomaly. It's a little different, taking a different approach. Are they malt-based or vodka?
They're malt-based. They're not the same thing. Okay. They're not the same thing, but they don't. A lot of the seltzers even advertise calories kind of the same way, but I don't think Happy Dad advertises calories.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah. And maybe they have real sugar or higher calorie.
Yeah, I don't know.
And like, ours are pretty easy to get to if you scan the QR code. They're right in our link tree. But again, it's just like
it doesn't really matter.
Drinking alcohol. Like, count your calories at lunch. Like have the salad and with the chicken on top. But like when the night rolls around, like, are you really, I don't know, 100 calories versus 128? That's going to kill you.
You're drinking alcohol at the end of the day.
Yeah, you're going to finish it off with a pizza at the end of the night anyway. Right. Also, it doesn't
pizza
matter.
Not pizza. There's only
exactly.
For a good time,
yeah.
Well, back to the naming of this thing. So I mean, we did look at the beach route. We knew we were using these cans. We liked the name Buoy for a little while.
That did come up. That's right.
Yeah,
we haven't talked about that.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, on the other podcast, I don't think we really did. But yeah, like the shape of the can, like
it does kind of look like a buoy.
Yeah, kind of like a buoy. We like that for
like grab a couple buoys, has a little ring to it. It's kind of fun to say.
I think there is a brewery in like San Francisco called like Buoy Brewing.
Yeah,
or something.
There was some sort of
colored us a little. Yeah. We explored the name Swellies, which we really liked. Luke was really excited about that one. The swell of the wave, have a swell day, and
which even that like I feel like have a swell day is like so like I don't know.
Right. Well, and then there's also an RT brand called like Mighty Swells. It's like all these names were taken, and we just weren't that excited about it.
You know, it wasn't taken though.
Not pizza.
No one wanted to call their drink not pizza.
Yeah, so I think we were together on a Friday. We said, let's take the weekend, come up with a list of names, potential names. We have to each come up with 50 names and come back on Monday. And so we came back that next Monday, and the 50th name on my list of 50 was not pizza. And it was just kind of to some degree, a throwaway name, but there was just something different and unique about it. And yeah, we lashed onto this idea that you only need two things for a good time, pizza and not pizza. And as marketers, we thought there was a ton we could do with pizza, with the imagery of pizza. And if we could just start to get people to every time they think or hear pizza, to then think of not pizza, because it's a word and an image you're engaged with on a probably daily basis.
Yeah, every day you see pizza thrown in your face, and then if you can tie that into not pizza,
Friday night, let's grab
free
some
advertising.
Pizza. Yeah. And some not pizza.
How does your, I mean, you guys are both creatives. Like, how does your creative process work? Do you sit down and write? Like, you guys are coming up with videos and these things all the time. Like, you don't just like show up at the shoot and do it. Like, do you guys have a process where you sit down by yourself? Do you have to talk through it? Do you have a...
So Luke and I talk probably about like 1,000 times a day.
Yeah.
A phone call or text. So I think we are very much that, like a flicker of an idea will come into one of our heads, and then we instantly call the other person. We're like, this is something I'm thinking, or like, what if we do this? And then
just play off each other.
To a degree. Or one of us will have a more, flushed out idea, but the other one will be able to provide little tweaks to it to get it to that final, point. Like our first video when we landed in a distributor, I think someone had just dropped off the order, and Luke was like, I should probably go like swing by and shoot something. Like I'm only 5 minutes away. So like in 5 minutes span, we quickly thought of, all right, what would that video be? How do we do it? And he was able to quickly execute it. Like nothing planned.
Yeah, we had a quick like blue sky conversation. You were like, what if you like get it? What if there's like a trail of pizza slices leading to the distributor? I'm like, oh, that's good. That's good. Like, let's keep going. And this is like, this is one example of how it might like pan out. And we were kind of in a pinch, and we were so excited that we just got into our first distributor. So we shot this, and last minute I was like, okay, I like that idea. And then I'll do this, and I'll just, okay, let's go. And I ordered a pizza, picked it up, went over, shot it, edited it like in my car in CapCut, like sitting in the parking lot, texted it to him, and he put it up. And it got like, we sold out of that 24 case order at that distributor, Superior Beverage in Phoenixville, in 48 hours. We sold out 24 cases. So, I think that there's like, it's a whole spectrum of like, in next week we're shooting a music video for some original music that I've made about not pizza. I have like 5 songs about not pizza, and they're like very good. Like, I listen to them every time I get in my car, and I'm like, damn, these are awesome.
What other RTD brand is dropping an EP?
When I started making music, did I think I'd be, singing about vodka iced teas? Like, no, but here I am, using my talents to market. And that's what I was always doing. Like, I never really, realized that I was, when I was making,
you were like sharpening this spear, you didn't even realize that like now you're kind of ready to go.
Correct. Yeah. So, when we create videos, it's always different. We do these not pizza pairings with Kyle and Lizzie, these foodie influencers. And we go to pizza shops and we try their slice and we pair it with one of ours. And those are a little more, planned out. It's a whole spectrum of.
So you did was it 422? I'm sorry, what was the name of that? Hello 422. Yep. So you were able to kind of connect to all these like small business owners, and I've noticed, a lot of your marketing is like great videos, but then the partnerships that you guys are doing is like, it's like multiple partnerships a week. It feels like it's like so many different things going on. Like, how does that work? You just reach out to them and be like, do you want to be involved with this and just like do something with our brand? And like, then they kind of see your content. Then I guess the quality of your content kind of leads them to want to do stuff with you guys.
Yeah. So, I mean, really what Luke and I feel like have accomplished and done a very good job of is building relationships. Like these small business owners, especially because we kind of swooped in at a time where a lot of them were honestly really struggling. So we kind of came in and were assisting them, and we built these fantastic relationships. So when they found out we were launching
prior to not pizza, during
Hello
to
Yep.
422.
So when they found out we were doing this, I mean, we had orders before we even had can designs. They want to support what Chris and Luke are doing. Like at our first launch party, we had this one business owner crying because she was like, you guys have been so good to us. Now we have a chance to like support your business.
Nice,
and, we built these relationships, and
not a bad place to be when the business owner that is going to be selling your stuff is crying. Yeah, she wants to sell it.
Exactly, and those owners know other people, and we also, I mean, we certainly pounded the pavement and got out there and talked to people too. But we had a very healthy start. I probably had 30 places that I had good relationships with that sell these type of drinks. I have owner cell phone numbers already. Hey, it's Chris from Hello 422. We've been working together the last 5 years. Now I've got a drink. Are you interested? Yeah, come on in. Let's talk. I mean, we had such a leg up. And then with working with our partner John from Sly Fox and having his expertise on everything, we really were able to hit the ground running because of what we had done in the lead up, even prior to getting involved with this now pizza. So.
Can we talk about the price a little bit? Because I talked to Dave 3 weeks ago, and it was after you guys kind of did like your initial launch there and like kind of sold out. And he was telling me that like, what he finds impressive about it is like it's also able to hit this price point. It's able to get the distribution out there. Kind of all. Do you know how much is it selling for at like a retail outlet? Do you know?
So our 6-packs of Not Pizza are selling for, I've seen it anywhere from $14.99 to $18.99 for a 6-pack.
Okay, and what's your breakdown of like packaging? Is like 6-packs and cases?
Right now it's just 6. Well, I mean, distributors might sell it by the case.
Okay, but like
it's essentially just 6-packs for right now.
Okay.
We have our variety pack coming out later this spring.
And it's broken down. Is it in cardboard boxes or is it just the pack text?
It's in plastic rings.
Just plastic rings?
School, man.
Yeah.
It's cool. We can't wait to get out of those plastic
true
rings.
startup.
Although I will say, when you walk into the distributor and every single thing
plastic rings are coming back. I feel like there's a lot of there was a time in craft beer where everything it had to be pack tech. Before that, it was like everything had to be cardboard. And I'm seeing a lot of alternative types of packaging, holding cans together material.
Yeah.
Like now you're seeing cardboard also. I never used to see that. The plastic rings are definitely coming back. I'm seeing a lot more of them.
Yeah, I mean, it stands out on the shelf for sure.
Does.
And our cans really, we get such rave reviews for how our cans look. So all you're seeing then is the can. You're not seeing, it hidden behind cardboard.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't need packaging.
Said, like
it's in its own packaging.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, our 6-pack, we do have 6-pack cartons designed, and we have a variety pack designed that will come out.
What's the variety pack have? Are there certain ones that are like the most popular
three
ones?
Of each flavor.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So right now we have these 4 flavors out. We have 2 carbonated ones: the vodka seltzer berry and the seltzer orange. And our carbonated ones, which you're drinking, the orange, we dialed the carbonation level down a little bit from what you'd find in like most of.
Yeah, it's carbonation, but it's not like a seltzer's kind of like more carbonation than it's almost like soda level carbonation.
Mm-hmm.
This is not. This is lower than that. This is lower than beer, I think.
It is. It is lower, and people have been really receptive to that. It's been a really good selling point for us. People like that. People come up at our tastings or our samplings at a distributor, and we're like, "Oh, you want to try the vodka seltzer? Oh, I don't do seltzers. I don't like the bubbles." We're like, "Well, try ours because it's really light bubble," and they'll try it and they really like it. So our 2 seltzer flavors now are berry and orange, but coming behind that we have a black cherry and a tropical.
Cool. It's tropical, like fruit punch kind of flavored.
More like
pineapple.
Okay, cool.
Mango thing, yeah.
Cool.
And then the lemonade and the iced tea, those are still non-carbonated still. And those coming behind that will have a peach iced tea.
Cool.
And then a vodka iced tea lemonade
cool.
blend. So that'll give us 8 flavors at that 5% ABV. And then
I've heard you guys talking about an espresso thing.
Yeah. I'll let you. Yeah. I
Yeah,
just
so,
did you do that?
Yeah, so we also developed at the same time a 12.5% espresso martini.
Yeah.
And a 12.5% margarita. So those are
all in 12 ounce.
Yeah, 12-ounce cans.
Cool.
Those are ordered. Like the cans are being printed, I think, next week.
Nice.
So they'll be in a couple weeks. Then we're getting all the ingredients and everything ready. So hopefully early May, if everything goes as planned, we'll have those out. And we have sample cans of those we've been testing at events. And I mean, people are going crazy for them, like loving them. And a lot of our distributors, every time they talk to me, are asking, when's it coming out?
Is the espresso martini, does it like foam up? Like, are you guys able to sell it to bars to kind of use as?
Well, so we do have a couple bars who want to order it just so their staff doesn't need to make them anymore. Just so they can just be pouring them in.
As a bartender, making an espresso martini sucks.
Yeah,
and every single person in the world wants an espresso martini.
Yeah.
It takes forever. And then as like the bar owner, you're like, it's taking you like a while to make that drink.
Time, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And ours are really good. I mean, it's.
Yeah, I mean, we do these events. Like, it's been a really good like momentum builder for us.
Yeah.
Where we go to a bar in an area or a restaurant, and we have a step and repeat with Not Pizza, so people are taking their photos and posting them to social media.
What's a step and repeat?
So it's like just a banner, like a background, and I'll set up like a light like this, just
yeah,
like a continuous light. And then
it has not pizza all on the background.
Yeah.
Got it.
Post their picture that they took in our nice backdrop.
Cool.
Our brand's right there.
Cool.
Yeah, and then I perform some songs because I've done some remix songs, and then we'll pour some of these flavors, unreleased flavors we have in these real cool, like, sample cans that the flavor company sends us. So after the performance, I'm like, head over to that corner, and Chris is pouring some exclusive flavor. People have been loving the espresso martini. Like the reviews have been awesome. So we feel like, when we first launched, we were like, cool, we got this like 5% ABV, like awesome drink. And then like I feel like the espresso martini is going to be kind of this like white.
And you said it's what, 11.5%?
12.5%.
Yeah.
I remember when we got sent the samples of the espresso martini, the margarita, when they were with my wife in our kitchen, and they sent 4. So the whole process of developing the flavors, we use this group called Flavor Man out of Louisville, Kentucky, one of the country's premier flavor development groups. So when they send you their samples, and you're telling them kind of what flavors you want, but they'll send like an A, B, a C, and a D of each flavor. So for the espresso martinis, I had 4 different samples of all of them 12.5%, and 4 different margaritas, 12.5%. It's just my wife and I in our kitchen pouring out into like these shot glasses, these different samples. And they're all, they taste so similar. There's little subtle differences. So you're like, let's try A, let me come back to B, and then
maybe I like C more.
Yeah, within a few minutes, you're feeling
your
it. I was calling my neighbors, hey, come try some of this. Come on over. And it was a cool process, but
yeah.
Does the espresso martini have caffeine in it?
Yeah.
Does the tea have caffeine in it?
No. Yeah.
I think the espresso martini have caffeine in it. I think there's other RTD brands that have caffeine in it, and it's like a back end way of like adding that in, and I think it kind of changes everything. It's like
you think it's a positive?
Yeah. I think it's I think it's an awkward thing for companies to talk about, because then it's just like nobody wants to be the next Four Loko where you get banned. But it's like when people are drinking it, like that buzz, the pop it does give you, it does change it. It's a different experience.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. After you drink a 12.5% not pizza espresso martini,
you're jacked up.
Caffeine.
Yeah,
you're gonna have a different
start that
experience.
night off.
yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, so it's nice to have some flavors in the pipeline. These ones are performing really well. Like our sales are going really well, and our sell-throughs are going really well. Like it's we're learning so much.
What are most of your accounts? Is it big beer distributors, or is it bottle shops, restaurants? Like where's it mostly?
Mostly big beer distributors.
Yeah, but we have a really nice mix though. We're in a lot of restaurants, but a lot of big beer distributors and smaller distributors, a couple golf courses.
So I know you guys are doing really well in Westchester. Westchester's a great alcohol town. But is it mostly, are you guys trying to find like a demographic? Is it mostly college kids, younger drinkers?
I think we know in our heads that if this drink is going to really take off, it has to be with that college group. And I think that's why we made a real big effort on Westchester, because it's also just a little bit outside of our initial launch area. But
I guess the biggest college to you guys.
Yeah, in terms of
besides Ursinus, maybe
Westchester,
the biggest party school by you guys.
Yeah, so we did a big play on Westchester. We kind of got lucky with the beer mill and Dave out there, that he had one random customer come in and ask for not pizza. I guess he hadn't heard of us. This was right after we launched. So he, I believe, messaged us on Instagram and said, hey, someone asked about it. I checked all your socials. You guys look great. I'm going to put in an order. And you ordered 24 cases on spot, which for us, that's a really good first order.
Really good out to us. We're going into some places and pitching, and they're not ordering anything. So for him to be like, I see what you guys are doing. We're 24 cases. Shout out Dave. Yeah.
He was saying that when he went to buy beer from Human Robot, they were like, they're everybody wants Human Robot, and he was like, it's got to be annoying for them. But from the other perspective, most people are trying to sell their beer and get it in everywhere. Yeah. From your perspective, when somebody reaches out, and call you, I want 24 cases. We can make that happen.
Can deliver it today.
Yeah, and then we made a big play on Westchester. We did, we recruited some local college students, I guess, from Westchester, and put together this big music video that we shot at Pizza Westchester. We did all these things that we knew would really resonate with the people living.
Are you guys selling beer to beer stores? When I was growing up, and I guess they still are, it's like you had beer distributors and pizza shops sold beer. It's like, are you guys selling beer to pizza shops? Is that like? I feel like it's a great play.
If they can,
yes.
There's not a ton right in our initial network that have that liquor license too. There's a couple, like there's Tornettas that were in. They're one of our first spots. It makes so much sense for a pizza place.
Yeah.
To carry us.
It's a cool play.
So I mean, we will be getting into more too. Like, but
yeah, it's mostly beer distributors, but yeah, a couple restaurants and golf courses too.
Cool.
But yeah, demographically too, though, like, we get so many, texts and messages from people just kind of coming out of the woodwork, people who are in our age bracket, who have kids, who vacation, might go to the beach or whatever and pick up some of these.
This is going to be your first summer open, right?
Yeah, this will be, we just launched in January, so.
Cool. Are you guys in Jersey at all? No. I mean, I don't think you need to be. Most people buy their alcohol and then I guess kind of go down, but yeah.
We'd like to be. We're trying to navigate that right now, trying to figure out, like, because, we self-distribute in Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. But with Jersey, you have to go through a distributor.
How does it work for RTDs? Is it the same thing with beer where you, like, sign to a wholesaler? Or, like, are there liquor wholesalers? Like,
I think we're still learning that.
Yeah.
How exactly. So we haven't been producing at the quantities where we've had to look to go outside of PA.
Okay, yeah.
Our first run was 1,000 cases, and we sold through it in 4 weeks. And now we're on our
You have so much room to grow in your home market. There's no need to do
now,
that.
I will say our next production run is close to like 10,000 cases. So with that order,
a little step up.
Yeah, so that's where we're going to look and
expand into some new markets. Although, I mean, yeah. We've been going kind of in the other direction. Like, we've gone up to Wyomissing and Reading.
Well, the same way that you didn't name it about a beach thing. Like, everybody's drinking these not just at the beach. Like, you don't need to then be pushing to the beach to then do that. There's this whole open market out there that's not beach. That's looking for this product.
Yeah. We do want to be on the beach this summer, though.
Yes, obviously. But yeah.
But no, we kind of like... I think we've almost grown, like, now that you bring that back up, we've almost, like, grown into this philosophy where, I don't know if I can, should I curse? I can't curse.
I mean, yeah, you can do whatever you want.
I'll just say, like, forget beach marketing, Like, we're kind of like, everyone has done that, and it's just such an obvious path, I think, like decades ago, like, Corona probably, like, set this tone of, like, when you're at the beach, it's like, and now everyone's commercial is, like, or Instagram post or whatever it is, just like, girl.
Find your beach.
Yeah, find your beach.
Find your pizza.
But like with all these RTDs, it's just like girl on beach in bikini holding cans.
Yeah.
Like, how many times are we going to do this?
Yeah.
And like we knew if we called it something like this, it was going to lead to a lot of funny videos that were just different. Like, yeah, we really follow and idolize Mike Cesario, the guy who started Liquid Death.
Yeah.
And just think like he's an absolute genius. And it's like, I'm not calling ourselves geniuses in that right, but like it's kind of like it's kind of a similar, like we're going for a similar thing to stand out in the market. Like if you look at water, like everyone is like Poland's fresh from the spring from the
or Dasani. It's all the same thing.
Yeah, he's like, I'm calling this Liquid Death. When he was starting that, if you listen to some of his like podcasts or things, How I Built This with Guy Raz is one. Like he's like, I mean, all my family, everyone in my life is like, what are you thinking? Like you're gonna launch a canned water company called Liquid Death? Like you are never gonna succeed,
Yeah.
And we certainly had our fair share of people in our corners who were like, why are you calling this not pizza?
Yeah.
Because we can.
Because it's different. Do what's different than everybody else.
Yeah, just try to shake things up a little bit.
That's the number one thing people come up to us during our tasting and say, why did you name it not pizza? And we'd love to just say, because if we named it Sun Chaser, you wouldn't be asking us why we named it Sun Chaser.
Exactly. It's edgy. It's like, they're thinking about it.
It's a little bit of an F.
Even if they're frustrated, it's just like,
oh yeah.
But if you just named it, not Sun Cruiser, like anything else, like
Low Tide,
Sunbather, whatever else you said, it's just like, all right, we'll just
cool.
It's
on to the
another
next.
One of those. Yeah.
This episode of the BrewedAt podcast is brought to you by Zilka & Co., your trusted regional brewing supply partner. Family owned for over 100 years of business, Zilka delivers world-class products at competitive prices with flat $5 delivery fee. No pallet or liftgate charges, thanks to their own fleet of regularly maintained trucks. With locations in Allentown and Hunker and a technical brewer on staff, they provide the expertise and service your brewery deserves. Reach out to Brad Adelson in the show notes and let him know BrewedAt sent you.
Our name does a lot of the work for us. I was sitting at LeVante. I know you just had those guys in here. I was sitting at their bar last Thursday, pitching them because they might carry it in their tap room in Westchester.
PA made, you can sell it in breweries.
Yep. And this woman was walking by, and I just have to ask, what are you guys doing here? What is not pizza? And I was like, you guys see what's happening here? This is the mark. The can does a lot of work for us. You know? It's bright, it's poppy, and it says not pizza real big. So people have a lot of questions,
And I like the branding where it's they're all different colors. Like when you put them all together, they're all the same, but it looks like they stand out. It's like a rainbow, It pops.
Whole family.
Yeah.
Our children.
It took us a long time to get that was the longest part, I think, was getting the cans dialed in. We had the name figured out. We had the flavors developed. The last piece was loving the can design. That took a little while, but we got there, and we love these.
Is there one that's selling more?
Orange is probably the best seller almost everywhere. Okay. Carrying not pizza. I'd say as the weather's getting warmer, you see lemonade sales picking up a bit, but I still think orange is probably the best seller.
I mean, it's different. It's RTD, but, the teas are out there. This is different than other products that are out in the market.
Yeah, and I think another big thing that separates us that people really like at these samplings too is the real sugar. You just get a different kind of aftertaste with the real sugar.
Mexican Coke. Everyone talks about Mexican Coke. So much better.
These are the Mexican Cokes of arts and B's. There's real sugar in there, sugar cane. And our iced tea, for example, is a very, very much tastes like an unsweetened tea. A lot of the iced teas on the market that I drink, Twisted Tea is an extreme example, but even some other ones that are pretty
I think that's why Twisted Tea Light or Diet Twisted Tea, whatever it's called, that's why that's more popular, because Twisted Tea is disgusting. It's not that it's diet, it's just that it tastes better than the normal one.
Yeah, yep. And all our flavors are subtle, they're very light. And I think you might look at our cans and be like, ooh, that's going to be a sugary mess, but they're not. They're so chill. They're very, very subtle. And we said that from the start. We were always saying okay, if we're going to do these flavors, it has to be something that you want to drink 3 or 4, and it's easy to do.
When you were getting started, you said you were tasting the flavors that they sent you, but did you go out and you bought all the RTDs and just
We didn't really, actually. I mean, last summer I was I remember sending you videos yo, I'm drinking this High Noon.
Yeah, but we didn't have that where we went out and got a whole bunch, put them all let's try all these and see which ones.
Yeah, let's just make it better than that. No, you just kind of trusted our instincts. Where you're just we know what we're going for, something light and subtle, and we know we have good taste. So let's. Yeah, I think we kind of developed these more so when we were doing that actual tasting with nothing else in mind. And we did a little market research, drinking around, last summer, kind of this is good.
This works, this doesn't work.
Yeah.
But I mean, we focused on the marketing of it too. We knew that people had to try it.
Yeah.
We had to get that initial purchase from people, and you had to be different to do that and stand out. And then we hired Flavor Man to make sure it tasted good.
Yeah. So. Go like this real quick, with here. Right. There. Yeah. There you go. Once we did though, once people,
thanks, good save, man.
You got it. Once people try it though, they really love it. They really love it.
It's good.
The feedback has been awesome.
A lot of times when you taste these, it's some flavors out of whack or it tastes medicinal or something. There's nothing like that. It's just, it's sweet.
It's very agreeable.
It's everything works.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why our tastings do so well. These distributors, we've sold out distributors in single tastings because people try it. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I really like that. And then they walk out a second later with a case worth of it.
Yeah. It's fun. I love doing samplings for that reason because it's cool. You get to talk to people about your baby, and then they go in and they come out and they're like, guys, look. And you're like, let's go. People.
Yeah, and they feel connected to you also. I've just started now to do the tastings also, and it's getting in and talking face to face with people. Social media, obviously you have a much wider reach, but talking face to face and explaining to them your brand, they become an ambassador of your brand. That it's not just that they're buying it, just like then they're telling their friends.
They're taking it to the party that night, and they're like,
I met this guy.
"What is this?
This is awesome."
Everyone's chatting about it. Yep.
Yeah.
We just did one at Stone's Beer Market. It was such a beautiful day. It was such good vibes there. And afterwards, we sat down at a bar, a couple spots over. We were just like, wherever Not Pizza goes, we need to always be going back and doing these tastings. So you just get such a high from interacting with people and seeing that initial reaction that people buying your product. It's a really cool
It's also not just the customers, but then you also interact with the people that work in the store also. It's like getting to talk to them like they're your salespeople. The same thing like in craft beer, you talk about like, your bartender. A lot of people, if people overlook their bartenders, they're stupid. It's like this is you're not the face of your brand. Your bartenders are the face of your brand.
Yeah.
Like when you go to a beer distributor, like the people that are selling your beer, or there's people that are selling Not Pizza, are the people that work at your store. And like when you can actually then talk to them also, then they realize what you're all about. They get to taste it. They get to hear your story, and then they're out there
retelling your story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's
Feed them while you're there.
Cool.
Bring some pizza. Like they remember that.
Yeah, it's cool, man. We, this is something that's been going on for years, and we just got into it. Like we're 3 or 4 months into this game, and we're just learning at such a rapid pace.
Yeah, somehow you freestyle rapping in college turned into
singing about and selling RTDs.
Yeah.
Well, what's interesting, I think about this a lot, is with music, like. It's so hard to make a living off of it because people don't buy CDs anymore. It's not really a thing. People stream, of which the artist makes like a fraction of a cent,
Yeah.
And then you can tour and sell merch, which is like where artists who are doing it right are like they're going on these huge tours, selling tons of tickets in these stadiums and selling T-shirts while they're there, and then they're doing it and making a living and making a lot of money. But like I just never. I don't know. I wasn't touring. There was nothing for people to buy. Everyone was like, "We love your music." It's like, how do we support you? Just stream your stuff, or like, what do we do?
Yeah.
There was nothing for people to buy. So now I feel like this is kind of like I'm gonna make music about this. And now, if you like it and you like what we're doing, you go buy the product.
It took you making Not Pizza
to feed you.
Yeah, to get into like now you're making music again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which is great for me because that's like my favorite form of creativity.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
So I guess you guys said you guys are expanding. You guys just like you start off with like 2,000 or 3,000 cases.
Just start with 1,000.
Start off with 1,000, expand, and now like next batch is 10,000.
Yeah.
So is this like? And I saw I guess on Instagram the other day you said you guys have some more salespeople.
Yeah. So that's. I mean, we quickly learned that Luke and I can't handle all of it. All of the sales.
I saw so when you guys launched, and it was just like you guys launched. It's you guys. We're self-distributing. Here we're at every single event doing this. I'm like, well, how are you supposed to then go to all of these places and like do all this?
Yeah, exactly.
The next step is to kind of bring other people aboard.
Yeah. So we just brought on maybe like 5 people in the past week who. All have little territories. They're all kind of doing this on the side of whatever else they're doing. And actually after this, I'm meeting someone to give them cards and flyers and like some cans because they're in, like this Philadelphia area around here. Yes, we have people who are starting up who have done tastings with us or like know the brand well enough that we feel comfortable with it and have some sort of sales background. And we're just hoping, we're hoping that they all do great. But even if 2 or 3 of them do great, or even just
it's your first step into it. You figure it out, and then like you can, adjust from there. You have to start doing it at some point.
Yeah, like one guy sold 8 cases today at a new distributor. I was like, "That's awesome!
Yeah,
like great job!" Like I had
Keep
nothing.
going.
I had nothing to do with that sale.
Right.
You had nothing to do with that sale, and we got a new sale. And he set up his own tasting there too.
Nothing to do with.
So that's been really cool to see these people who are going out and for them to get like that first sale or that second one and. And it's like, okay, now let's replicate. And
it's a sweet deal for them because it's like you can go sell on your own time. You roll in whatever you like to wear. You know what I mean? You're dealing with people in the beer and alcohol industry. Like it's
my LinkedIn picture is me dressed up as an astronaut. Like there's once you get into alcohol, it's like you don't need to be professional.
Yeah.
Just do a good job.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, just do a good job. Just go speak to the product well, be yourself, have fun with it. Like,
Yeah.
it's low stakes. The worst thing that someone says is no, or
Yep.
the worst thing they do is they just don't buy it, and it's fine. You can go back next week and say, want to try again? You know, like, it's so for someone who's like in the right space, in the right point in their life, like, it's a pretty attractive little gig. Yeah, 1099 you and pay you whatever a commission, and you're good to go. Like, that's good. Yeah.
It's fun.
So we've got a good little crew that we've formed, and we want to keep expanding on that too. Like, we have to, you know.
Yeah. So I guess the idea right now is like stay in home market, kind of expand west a little bit, see what's happening.
Yeah, west, and I think south, like down to here, down to Philly.
Yeah.
And then to the beach, downtown to the Jersey.
What account? Like, where can we find you? We can find you at Stones in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Nick.
Shout
where?
out to Nick at Stones. We're gonna be in City Tap soon, right?
Cool.
Yeah, we got a big launch party there the Friday before Easter.
Awesome.
Like 18th, maybe?
Yeah. And where else in Philly?
I know we've got this great feature on our link tree on Instagram where you put in your zip code and it'll tell you wherever Not Pizza is. That's
true.
near you.
Yeah. Shout out to
Nice.
Tyler. You can help that for us. Yeah. Just put in
No,
your zip.
yeah, we're in a couple other Philadelphia area spots too, you know, and hopefully growing a lot more after I meet this new sales rep after this this podcast, and she gets out there and crushes it.
It is a cool different angle. It's like a lot of we as a podcast and as BrewedAt, we're really what they did is, or what they're trying to do is attack Gen Z. And like as a podcast, we're trying to like, you know, bring the craft beer market to a platform that craft beer can digest. It's like they're not going on and like they're not in the, you know, the weird Facebook groups that like that craft beer used to live on. And it's like
Yes.
I think like the Gen Z market is so much different than like the craft beer market or, you know, the Gen X or the millennials. It's like it's so much different than, you know, how other people are like accessing data or where they're buying stuff. But I think that like you guys have a great understanding of like, you know, this is different. You guys need to, you know, sell to these different people. It's a different way to kind of talk to them. It's not just like, you know, we're saying like the same old commercials over and over, where it's like some girl in a bikini selling the same item that everyone else is selling on the beach, saying, you know, find your beach, find your whatever. It's like it's totally different than that.
Totally.
And it's not just like it's like the whole generation is acting things differently. Like you're connecting with them on social media. Like the marketing is way different. It's like the way you talk to them, the way you're doing the events is just different.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think a lot of craft breweries could look at what you guys are doing, and like, this is not just RTDs, but craft beer in general. You know, there's a lot to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've heard.
Yeah,
that,
and
so.
shift. Yeah, we have, and shifting, and we've actually had like distributors. Some of the distributors that we've had success with, they hit us up and say like, "Hey, can you guys come in on like a consulting basis and like help us run our social media? Like, what would you guys do?" And we're just like, you know, do your staff picks and like just pick up the phone and turn it on your face and talk to it.
Yeah.
Just like, and just don't overthink it and post it.
Yeah.
Because next week that video is going to be off into the ether, and just keep doing it and keep doing
Just
it.
producing content. And like I don't want to say just producing content, because some people, like we were talking about before, like just taking a terrible picture, but it's like, you know, improving upon that, seeing what works.
Yeah.
But like you don't understand that until you start doing it.
Until you start doing it.
So during the pandemic, I had, you know, the idea that like I wanted to kind of figure out what's the next step. Like I need to start figuring out like what I'm gonna do. I always want to open up my own brewery, but like, how do I go from like being like a employee somewhere to like start doing that? I'm like, I don't understand any of this, but like let me try to learn marketing. Let me try to learn social media. So it just started as my brother bought me like a 24 mix pack of craft beer from New York, and I just started like taking Instagram pictures, terrible Instagram pictures of just like, here's a beer. But I was the type of person that didn't post at all on social media before that, and it was just like just going through the process of physically posting something to then take the next step of like what's working, what's not working. And I'm not the greatest social media person now, but like at least I have a better understanding of like, you know, how it works, what I should be doing. And it's just like you need to actually start doing it to learn what works.
Yeah,
and
just start. Yeah, because you wouldn't have that understanding that you have today if you never started.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was kind of our advice to them, and it's cool to have people hit us up like, yo, teach us how to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Something's working.
And meanwhile, we're still trying to get better at it. Like we put a video up this afternoon at 4:30, and by 6:30 it had like 23,000 views, which is like nice, but it's not like we're still like, I feel like I'm like, yeah.
What was the video?
I want it to be at 50. So
is that the biggest video you guys have made so far?
no.
So our first pizza, not pizza video is at like 132,000 right now.
Nice.
That we did like 4 or 5 weeks ago.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like cool number, but like, it's gotta be, how can we get better still?
Yeah.
Like it's not
But also,
really
I mean,
enough
those
in today's day and age,
yeah.
like 1 million views is like cool. 1 million, like
It used to be 10,000.
more.
It was 100,000. It was
Right.
a million.
And it's not like that translates to a ton of sales for us. Like, it's cool to see that big number, but it's not then, oh, well, that video led to 30 distributors contacting us. Like, I've had a few pizza shops reach out and be like, hey, can you come sample our pizza?
yeah.
No,
Cool,
but
you got a liquor license?
No, but it
No,
does.
but-
But getting that many views does get you like some
Yeah.
more followers that are consistently looking at your stuff. That then slowly will then
Oh yeah,
start
there's
to like
definitely
buy stuff.
definitely
Oh,
a
yeah.
benefit to it, and that type of stuff those are actually sales tools. Like if you send someone out like these sales reps who are like, we have some people who I'm kind of like, you have the product, like here's some business cards, like here's the thing,
And they're like,
here's
I don't
the
give a
pitch.
fuck about non-pizza. And then you're like, but we have this many views. And
Yeah.
wait, who are you again?
Yeah, and
It's
like,
like you get your foot in the door.
yeah, you kind of show that to a distributor. By the way, like we're really active on social media.
Yeah.
Look, like
We've been
we'd
doing
love
this
to
for
do
4
something
months,
with
and
you
look
guys.
at this.
And they love that we do so much to showcase the places where we are. Like, we've done a ton of videos with Dave at Beer Mill, and he loves us for it.
Yeah.
Or this restaurant or this other distributor, like, we'll collaborate with them or do something for them as well, so that they're getting the benefit of our followers.
Yeah, I've heard other people in the past say that like they don't like to highlight individual businesses because they feel like if they do that, someone else might get upset because they're not getting highlighted.
Well,
but
then
hit
hit
I-
us up and we'll come highlight. you
exactly,
too.
and I feel the same way. I'm doing a lot of stuff where like I collaborate on posts with people. I take pictures of like me dressed up as an astronaut in their actual bar, and I don't feel bad about like me not getting to other places. It's like
No, you can't.
I'm too busy. I'm sorry, I can't get to you. But like I'm not trying not to go there. I'm not just saying
And if
that.
you
Like,
hit me up and make enough of a fuss, like cool, like let's make it.
I'll
happen.
get out there.
Let's go do something
Yeah.
for you too. Like it's not personal. I just like I'm keeping a lot of things in the air right now. Like
But like what you were saying before about like the accounts are like, how do we do this? It's like they get to kind of get a taste of it also. We're like, this is how this works. And then, then they start to collaborate on posts with you. And then like you get their followers, they get your followers. It's just
yeah,
everybody's helping each other.
mutually beneficial.
Yes, exactly.
Did you see the one that we did at the beer mill where Chris slowly turns into Dave?
I saw the end picture. Yes. Yeah.
He walks in this.
yeah.
And Dave's like, "Hey, what's
With the
up,
vest
man?"
on?
And then it cuts back, and Chris like has a car hat,
Yeah,
or a
yes,
hat on,
yes.
and then back and forth. And by the end, I mean, Chris was in the bathroom at Beer Mill shaving his mustache to look like Dave.
It's all like what you're saying. Like you need to turn the camera on yourself. We're in an era where my girlfriend's a photographer, and she tells me this all the time. She doesn't like taking pictures of just products. People like looking at pictures of other people.
Yeah.
Psychologically, it's like everyone. If you're looking at something, people are more attracted to something if there's an actual human involved with it. If there's a brand where there's a person behind it, you feel more psychologically, naturally, you're more connected to it. So it's like because you guys are so in front of your brand, and Dave does an amazing job of this. Dave is so in front of his brand. As a beer distributor, that is not a normal thing.
Not at all.
And it's like getting in front of the brand and being like a person behind the brand. It makes it personable. And it makes, yes, your cans are eye-catching, but when people think of Not Pizza, they also think of both of you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it has a lot of weight behind it.
Totally.
And I think with
preach
Dave
that to,
also,
like all my marketing clients all the time. I'm
Yeah.
like, it's got to be you. Like just you can literally like I can come produce you a cool video.
yeah,
We can script it, we can cast and we could do the whole scenes and like it's gonna do well. But like you could probably get just as many, if not more, views by you just like propping up your thing and be like, guys, we just launched this this beer.
Yeah.
It's so tasty and like come check it out. Boom. People want
if it's somebody else besides them, customers might think like they might even feel even more disconnected from them because it feels like there's like
I recognize them. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it feels almost fake. Like people want, even if it's worse, they want to feel connected to the real thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. That makes a lot of sense. I think you guys have a very exciting brand.
What do you think of the orange?
The orange was really, really good. I'm going to take the rest of these home.
Yeah.
This is our second episode tonight, so I can't drink all of these. But I do want to try them all. Is there a... which is the tea one?
This is the tea.
The tea? And what is this? Berry?
Iced tea, berry.
And then what did you say is coming out soon?
These are the carbonated.
The espresso martini and the margarita will be the next two, the 12.5%ers. But then probably later in summer, we'll have the tropical, the black cherry, peach iced tea.
Have you guys ever thought about making a spicy margarita? I made a spicy margarita beer, and it was delicious.
I love spicy anything.
I think it was really good. I think that would really... Obviously, I didn't have your margarita one, but I think that a spicy marg one would go great with this flavor.
You were on the spicy kick there, Luke, I feel like.
I love spicy stuff, so I'd be down for that, yeah.
And spicy marg and pizza, I think, go great together.
Yeah,
so
agreed. With some red chili pepper flakes.
Yes, exactly.
I had a burger at Standard Tap tonight with a long hot on it. My nose was running, and I was happy.
Nice. You went to Standard Tap?
I did.
So there's, the painting in there, the lady with the feet. When you walk right in, there's a picture of this lady. It's like a 1 foot by 18-inch painting of this lady, and she has like the most disgusting feet. And it's just like, it's just right when you walk in, it's right there. And I can't walk into Standard Tap without taking a picture of this lady. Yeah. Next time you're gonna Standard Tap, look at it. It's like right in the beginning. But
of all things to hang in your bar and restaurant when people walk in, gross.
It's right there.
But
it's just like dark, and it's just like
the place is iconic.
Some weird.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's a great spot.
Cool. So I guess where can we find you? At Not Pizza?
At Drink
Not Pizza.
DrinkNotPizza.com. Our website stinks though, so don't go there.
At
Drink Not Pizza. Yeah, just go to our Instagram or our TikTok at Drink Not Pizza.
Cool. So I guess a lot of your clients are kind of TikTok generation. Are you guys heavy into TikTok? Are you guys like feeling it? We do some stuff on TikTok, but it's mostly just like Instagram, and then stuff is like kind of reposted on TikTok.
That's we kind of just do like one for one. Like Chris runs our Instagram, so if I see him throw up like a pizza review, I'm like, cool. I run the TikTok, but I'm very just it's kind of an afterthought. TikTok I feel like has this more casual thing where like if your caption is like real chill. If your caption is like, we collaborated with this, and it's like this whole explanation, people are like, you lost me.
Yeah.
Because people just want like, give me something funny.
Yeah.
So like, if the caption is witty and it seems like you didn't care, you just threw it up, then like, that's a good TikTok. But
yeah.
So if I see Chris post something to Instagram, then I'm like, cool, let me just take this and like, make a stupid caption and post it. So we are active on TikTok. Yeah.
Cool.
At Drink Not Pizza. And then back what Chris was, find.drinknotpizza.com is like a store locator. So you can find where it is closest to you at a distributor or a restaurant. So if you could just type in your zip code and it tells you like, oh, it's here, here, and here.
Very cool. And when are these next flavors coming out? In May, you said early May?
12.5%ers are probably May, and then the other 5%ers I would think a little later into summer.
Cool.
Yeah, we're kind of like just have those in the ready to go, but we're going to release them strategically. We want to let these guys breathe a little bit and kind of see.
It's 4 months ago. It's brand new,
Yeah, it's brand new. Yeah, so it's nice to have some more flavors teed up, but we want to let these guys kind of perform this summer and see where they go.
Cool. Do you guys have anything else you want to say?
No,
I think we're about an hour.
Thanks for having us.
Cool. No, thank you for coming on. This is exciting. Like I said, like right when you guys came on, I kind of saw you guys. You guys made a great splash, and I think you guys are doing a great job.
Thanks, man. Were your first RTD on here?
First RTD.
And only?
I want to say that, and then like...
Can we make you sign an NDA? I mean, a non-compete or an exclusive?
It'll cost you. It'll be a sponsored deal. Free pizza every episode. Yeah. Right now, we're on a deal where we get... we make a... I won't get into it. It is too much inside baseball, but all right, that's all we got. But
thanks for having us.
Yeah, of course. And then you can follow us at BrewedAt, at the BrewedAt podcast, and then we'll see you guys next week. Cool. Thank you.
Got it.